Hi there, how are you? This is the Whisper Corner. Now, normally in the past I've done videos where I've had 100 facts or 101 facts if I want to show off. In fact, one time I think I was particularly hard working and I made 250 facts. Well, just as hard working, I've made 99 lies and one fact. So what I want you to do is lie back, relax, sit down and try to figure out which fact here is a fact. Now, I have to also point out that myself and a friend of mine, Claire, made these facts, and some of them are just ever so slightly so random that they might be true, but I'm looking for one fact that I know is true. If anything else is true, it's a bit like Manchester United scoring a goal. It's a fluke. So we have 4 pages of facts here. Sorry, hold on 1 second. We have 4 pages of facts here. There was initially 7 pages, and then being the miser that I am, I made the font smaller. So here we go. Number 1. Jam counts as one of your 5 fruit and vegetables a day. 2. At night, the temperature of the sun drops to 254 degrees Celsius. Peanut butter is made from the milk of brown cows. In Star Trek, the Klingon language was based on drunken Welsh. Hi Welsh ASMR, no offense. Cigarette lighters have killed more people than cigarettes. The first video uploaded to YouTube was taken down in 2016 for violating its new terms of service. Once you are underneath the surface of the water in a submarine, marriage laws are null and void, and you can marry whoever you want. The X in Xbox stands for dirt. Lumps of gold were called nuggets after McDonald's chicken nuggets. In Brazil, they call Brazil nuts Argentines. A furlong was defined as the distance run by a furry mule in 2 minutes. The rivets along the side of the Eiffel Tower spell out in Braille, "We hate the English." A small town in Yorkshire still uses rat skulls as a form of currency. Every screw used in the construction of Vatican City has a cross on its head. Kevin Bacon founded an organization that saves wounded pigs. It takes 300,000 litres of paint and 5 months every year to paint the white cliffs of Dover. Among various countries throughout the world, 48 people have been reported missing in stores of IKEA and never found again. In London, it is illegal to speak to a stranger on a bus or train. All British-born children under 3 must be able to use a kettle and a teaspoon before they are allowed to apply for primary school. And on the same vein, the English Civil War was started over an argument whether you put the milk in before or after the boiling water in a cup of tea. It's after. Clear nail varnish can make an excellent substitute for Tipp-Ex or whiteout for when you haven't made a mistake. Before cutting up an onion, if you wash your face with a No More Tears shampoo, you won't cry. Cured bacon was named after the French chemist and physicist Marie Curie. None of the survivors of the Titanic disaster went on to live a meaningful life. Clint Eastwood and John Wayne starred in a film called The Dirty Duke, and they put on fake English accents. Before the discovery of the Americas, there was no wars over oil. If a mosquito was the size of a shark, it could jump over a cat. The only mineral that doesn't pass through the human digestive system is sulfur. It is stored in the intestines and gives farts their smell. The first PS2 game outsold the first deck of cards. Round-faced clocks keep time better than other shapes. February has 28 days so that winter will be shorter. Fire extinguishers were invented before flamethrowers. The saying, "Bob's your uncle," came from the Shakespeare tragedy Bob from Slough. Light tubes use neon instead of helium, as otherwise they would be too light. The only Irish Pope was called Mick. Africa is covered in roads lit by electric lighting, but they are all turned out when NASA satellites fly overhead at night time. The most common football strip colour is blue. The Renaissance lasted from 1254 until 1855. There were originally 8 dwarfs with Snow White, and the one that was removed was called Worried. Giraffes eat bones. Before the offside rule was introduced in football, teams often played with no goalkeeper. The world's first tattoo said Mum. Every year, the Russian and Italian mafias meet up to discuss Interpol sanctions. The most repeated show worldwide on television is Friends. The most used new word of the 21st century is selfie. The average weekly pocket money for a UK child has risen from £3 in 1988 to £27 in 2019 if you factor in the price of mobile phone contracts. In the ultraviolet spectrum, rainbows are invisible. The Swedish have more sex per 1,000 people than any other country in Europe. Most Grandmaster paintings in the world are fake. And reaching halfway through, the US stock exchange, the Nasdaq, stands for the New American Square Dealers Alliance Quartet. Number 51. When Roger Moore played James Bond, he slept with more women than the number of enemies he killed. Zoom is the last real word in the English language. Later words were made up to scare biology students. Custard is the biggest selling dessert in Paraguay. In Portuguese, there is no translation for "he's managed to stay on his feet." On any given day in Rotherham, England, there's more tourists than there are residents. They don't sell Where's Waldo books in Ireland after priests said it would take away time from children learning how to look after their mammy. Waterproof socks don't exist. Space smells of a melted horse. A male bee will sting another male bee if it is seen mating with the queen. E is the most commonly used letter in the English alphabet and appears in 83% of words. The healthiest place on earth is Blackpool, England. Cleopatra coated her slaves in honey so as to keep the flies off her. Clean people who bathe more often are often more creative. People who bathe less often are often happier sitting watching TV. Dolphins have been trained to bring rations to soldiers who are stranded on islands. Teachers in Romania must begin every school day by singing and playing the accordion to the school children for at least 10 minutes. Cannibal won't eat you if you use deodorant. There is enough iron in the human body to paint a garden gate. Redheads will be extinct by the year 2090. Here's hoping. Humans are just one of an estimated 52 million species here on Earth. Dinosaurs lived on every continent except Asia, as they didn't like the food. Sea lions like dancing to rap music, especially anything by Snoop Dogg. Rolls-Royce make the most expensive cars in the world, but buy their paint from the same company that sells too little. Nutmeg can kill you if you grind it and snort it. On average, a cow has enough meat to make 832 hamburgers. Germany introduced the idea of diving during football matches. Although laughing is said to be the best form of medicine, it has proved unsuccessful in trials against cases of low self-esteem. There are more mountains in the Alps than there are mountains in the Himalayas. Licking stamps used to cause 116 hospital visits each year in the US before the introduction of adhesive stamps. In polls choosing between Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola, most people will buy whichever is cheaper. Leonardo da Vinci was born near an Italian sewer, and that is why they named a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle after him. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was named after the family hound that would often bark all night. Buzz Aldrin was the first person to take a shit on the moon. Kim Jong-un likes to have children sing Western pop songs to him from the 1980s whilst he is having pedicures. More people lose hands every year inside vending machines than from shark bites. Extrapolating forwards, we will spend 8 years of our lives watching adverts from games on our phones. France last executed someone by the guillotine in 2017. The creature with the worst breath in the world is the jellyfish, as its mouth is also its anus. More leprechauns are sighted in Sligo than in any other part of Ireland. Cliff Richard sang the first Christmas #1. On flags, a red horizontal bar represents victory over the British in a battle. In the Scottish Highlands, it is legal to headbutt a smirking Englishman. Men who are buried beside their wives are often found to have erections when they are exhumed afterwards. If the sun was to suddenly disappear, dozens of journalists would suddenly have a better reputation. A jeweled sword belonging to Napoleon Bonaparte is the most expensive sword ever sold at auction. The world's smallest skyscraper was moved brick by brick from Cheshire, England to Dallas, Texas in 1987. An English policeman can be fired if he is seen wearing a bowler hat. The largest cast of actors ever used was used in the battle scenes of Brad Pitt's Troy. Legally, WWE wrestlers have to list their occupation as actors. Written in capitals, half of the Roman alphabet can be written using only straight lines. Number 100. People with 3 nipples can't whistle. So those were 100 facts, of which at least one, maybe only one, is true. Do you know which one it is? So if you have an idea, let me know and comment down below. Thanks for watching and cheery bye.